Well, I'm back with you once again, the brother from Harlem with the high school education. You know, I spoke at the other session about what a gigolo was, and I talked about Greek Tony. Well, I said I didn't know if there were, or I didn't personally know any black gigolos, or if there were any. Well, you see, you just don't know how, what, where. There was a gentleman, a Negro, or colored, because that's what we were called in those days, either Negro or colored. Now, there was a gentleman that I had met that had come through Oris named Algernon Hyman, or as they called him, Doc Hyman. Now, why did they call him Doc? Because he perpetrated himself as a doctor. Carried a little doctor's bag, like doctors carried that little black satchel. Nobody ever looked in it. We didn't know what was in it, but he always had that bag. And he had a business card that said, Algernon Hyman, MD. But he was I guess you could say, a psychiatrist doctor. Now, you know, to be a psychiatrist, you got to first become a doctor. So his card read, Algernon Hyman, MD. I heard Doc con black wealthy women out of money. Now, does that put him in the category as a gigolo? I guess now that I think about it, could be. Because he only played on rich women, but he played on rich black women. Now, were they the same type of rich that Tony the Greek Tony played on? I don't think they were quite that high income-wise, or the financial background was the same as who Tony played on. But I had heard and I had seen, and he would sashay a few of them periodically through the tailor shop. So we got a chance to see some of these women. And black women carry themselves in a whole lot of ways. Black wealthy women, you know they're black wealthy women because of the way they carry themselves. You could see the jewelry that they wear. You could see the little mink stoles and the mink jackets and the mink collars and all of that they wore. So you knew they were wealthy enough. Now, maybe not the same as their counterpart, the rich white women, but you knew they had a little something. This is who Doc Hyman played on. And I saw his business cards, and it said Algernon Hyman, MD on it. Now, he had a Madison Avenue address on the card. But what a lot of people didn't realize, there were certain avenues that either started downtown, but they came all the way up to Harlem. Madison Avenue ran from all the way from downtown Manhattan all the way up and ended in Harlem. So did Fifth Avenue. Fifth Avenue ran all the way up. Lexington Avenue ran all the way up. So if you say Madison, Fifth, or Madison, Fifth, and Lexington, you always thought of them being downtown. I got news for you people. They ran all the way up into Harlem and ended in Harlem. See? Park Avenue ran almost as far. So if you told somebody, well, I live on Park Avenue, or I live on Lexington Avenue, or I live on Fifth Avenue, people already would think, wow, you live downtown. No, my friends, those avenues ran straight up into Harlem and ended there. So when Doc would give a lady his card, and it had this Lexington Avenue address on it, or it had a Madison Avenue address on it, people already assumed that they were downtown. But what we got to remember, back in my day, doctors made house calls. So you never had to go to Doc's office. Doc came to you because Doctors in those days, like I say, would make something wrong with you, you can go to his office. He might have had an office, but they made house calls. This is how Doc got his money. Because see, he got a chance to go into these wealthy black women's houses, see how they look, and figure out how he could. I guess Doc was more of a con artist than a bona fide gigolo. He was more of a con artist. So I guess I'm going to put him in that category as a con artist opposed to a gigolo. But see, he had all kind. Now Doc looked the part only because most of the Negro or colored doctors back in those days, a lot of them went to Meharry Medical School, which was primarily a black school for medicine. And he would run that by you in a minute. Oh, I went to Meharry, okay. But he looked like your typical doctor. What does a typical doctor look like in those days? Usually, they were good-looking, older-looking black men. Fair skin, curly hair, you know, well-distinguished, talk real proper. That was the only downside with Doc. He didn't talk all that proper, but he had diction. Right? But he looked like your typical doctor. And when you carry a doctor's bag, like he carried, that little black bag that doctors always carry there, are you really going to question this man? So I think he was more in the con artist category than a gigolo. So as I got to thinking, I said, I could put Doc into that because he did the same thing Tony did. Tony played on rich, wealthy white women. Doc played on rich black women. Now I didn't say wealthy on that because there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Okay, those white women were wealthy, and there are a lot of rich white and black women. But most of the black women that you saw Doc with, I would categorize them as just rich, not necessarily wealthy. Now I could be wrong. They could have been wealthy too. But that's who Doc played on, see? So you just kind of never know. But these are the type of characters that you would see day to day if you circle through Harlem in those days. Now this is in the 60s. So if you saw them, you'd say to yourself, wow, how'd this guy get away with all of that? But he did. And I'm here to tell you, he did. So once again, another little tale from Gentleman Jim, brother from Harlem, with the high school education. These are the type of people that I saw day to day on 125th Street because Doc was a regular in and out of Ori's. We didn't see him every day, but I know we saw him 3 or 4 times a week, every week, for the duration that I worked on 125th Street. So I'll see you guys again with another tale from the brother from Harlem with the high school education. Y'all be blessed and I'll be back.